What's up, guys?
What's up? Welcome to your daily dose of gaming news.
I can't bring the energy right now. I'm so bummed about this.
I am personally not that bummed because when games are delayed, I just kind of forget about them in my mind. I'm just like, you know what? Not even going to think about it. Just going to live my own life until it comes out.
Yeah. I wish we could queue up some Enya or, some Sarah McLachlan right now.
Sad music.
I'm just in that. I'm just fully in that mood with this. So CD Projekt Red has announced that fans will have to wait a bit longer for Cyberpunk. There it is. Let's just take a moment and.
Moment of silence for Cyberpunk, please.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows, only.
Hey Marone, how long are we doing this? I just need to know run time here.
I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we're good.
I can give you another 2 minutes of Enya if you need some more time.
I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we're good. I think it's passed. Thank you. I appreciate that. So it's been delayed until November 19th, as we knew when it got delayed from April that it was going to release in September.
On Twitter today, CD Projekt Red apologized for the delay and explained the situation that led to Cyberpunk 2077's release date being pushed back nearly 2 months.
The studio said in a tweet announcing the delay that all the content in this game is finished. However, because the game is so large and complex, CD Projekt Red wanted more time to iron out bugs, make sure all parts of the game are balanced and working properly.
And it's crazy that this tweet almost has 150,000 likes on it, is how highly anticipated this game is. And this isn't the first time Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed. Originally, it was planned to release in April of this year, but in January, it was delayed until September, and now it has been delayed again until November 19th.
What's up, J4? Yeah, and Cyberpunk 2077, as a lot of us know, has had a long development cycle. It was first announced back in 2012.
What's up, Coombs? So we're all bummed with this news, but there is a chance that it might be good news. Do you think that it might be good news? Because everyone seems to expect this to be an instant classic. So I guess I'd rather have this magnificent game with no bugs than go into a glitchy adventure.
Hands down. Dr. Gonzo, I feel the same way. It's like I'd rather have the full game versus a buggy game. I mean, buggy games can just ruin the experience. I remember when Tom Clancy's I can't remember. I want to call it Tom Clancy's Bugs because that's what I ended up calling it because the whole game experience was like that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Wildlands. That's what it was. Wildlands was a game I remember first sitting down and playing, and I was super hyped about it. And had friends ready, and it became Tom Clancy's Bugs within a couple of days, and it just ruined that experience. So I don't want that for this game because I am so excited to get to play this game.
I'm pretty forgiving when it comes to bugs in games. Maybe just I've been conditioned to deal with it, but it's definitely kind of takes away from the experience. There's only been one game that I've ever had to totally stop playing because of too many bugs. That was Agony, which I was looking forward to for so long, and then it was too buggy that it was just unplayable. And I honestly don't think 2 months is a massive delay. The Last of Us 2 got delayed this year, and it still seems like the hype meter is off the charts, and there isn't really any, negative sentiment from The Last of Us 2 being delayed. So I think gamers are okay with this delay, albeit we'll be sad about it.
Well, I get, hey, it was September, now it's November, but it was originally April. We were talking about this game back in December, super excited for it. It's going to be that game that, for me, and still when it comes out, it will be that game to help kind of balance the multiplayer competitive life of getting into a deep, rich, story-driven narrative that has all of these, open ends to them and this just variety of gameplay. I want something like this to move away from what you normally experience when you play like Warzone or online PvP games and really just kind of like create my own journey. And that's, I think, if anything right now in this time period, that's the one thing about Cyberpunk 2077 that would be just so great to have.
And so since Cyberpunk is pushed to November, that makes it pretty much a holiday 2020 release, which comes alongside all the consoles that are going to be released at that same time.
That's actually a really good point. And I would not be shocked if, not just for bug reasons, but for next gen reasons, that we would see, a PS5 Cyberpunk launching along the PS5 and the same for the Xbox Series X. What if there are actual special edition consoles that come out alongside the game?
Maybe. Same with Matty. I'm going to be waiting for the Stadia version. I don't know what you all are doing with the next gen consoles. Apparently Cyberpunk was supposed to be a big Stadia release, but I don't think that's going to happen when this game comes out, because I don't know anyone who's playing Stadia still months later, after we first started talking about Stadia on the news. It's interesting that Cyberpunk is basically going to be a next gen title, because I think that they've made some aspects of the game better for next gen, but to me in my head, I guess I'm still being conservative in kind of thinking of it as a current console cycle game.
Oh, that's a good, I understand that.
I don't have crazy high hopes for the graphics, because they've been working on what was supposed to be for April for so long.
Right. Well, the footage for me really does the selling. I mean, looking at the gameplay, seeing what's happening in this game, just on the trailers and that the different breakdowns that they've done, how many times are you going to play through this game? All the different ways you can play. It's like, I don't know if you remember the Deus Ex games, but there was one they had me at Keanu. Yes, I think they had us all.
Right.
Well, there was a Deus Ex game that allowed you to play through like stealth or super high tech or just a shooter, and so you could just pick and choose these missions and do them the way you wanted. And this is taking up that same type of journey. So when you complete, a mission in your initial playthrough, the thought process for me is like, well, how do I want to come back and play again? And this time do it differently to see what the outcome will be.
Definitely. Neon Punk says, I wonder if they'll give anyone exclusive content for the delays. I personally doubt it, since it seems like everyone's just so excited to get the game finally. I anticipate maybe there's going to be like a special edition that comes with a poster or something that's a little more fancy, but I think just the main game is probably what they'll be selling.
Supple, thank you. And I would say that CD Projekt Red does a really good job of giving back to their community. So I wouldn't be surprised if, yes, you got a limited edition box of tissues.
Box of tissues, a little packet with Cyberpunk stamped
to
on
arrive soon. I would say that there could be something along those lines. I think they recognize that, or at least they seem to be the type of game studio that would recognize that and give some sort of, hey, here you go, we're sorry for you having to wait for this.
They are being very respectful with their delays. Unlike, who was it that was just like, you haven't heard anything about our new games.
Oh,
1v1.
Bethesda?
Yes! They're no Bethesda. They're not going to yell at you for asking for their game to come out. 1v1 me, bro.
Which you know nothing about.
You know nothing about this next game. I'm excited for Cyberpunk. I think I've just kind of thrown it on my back burner of games that are going to come out. I don't think that they're going to delay it beyond the November release date. Maybe I assume that they'll release it, and then maybe a few weeks later there might be a patch or something to fix bugs. But I think it at least feels like they're getting to the point where they just kind of want to get this game out. Or maybe I just want this game to come out, and I'm just projecting on them.
Yeah, I would say we are both projecting on them, and happily so, because there's so much hype. And we've talked about this before with CD Projekt Red, with our experience on The Witcher. I think it's safe to say we know they're going to deliver. We know they're going to present an experience that is going to surprise us. It's going to move us. It's going to entertain us. It's going to hit all the levels of video game entertainment that you want and hope video game developers put into every bit of code. So for us to just sit and wait, it's somber and it's a bummer, but we know it's going to be 5-star cuisine that we're waiting for.
Definitely. Give me that filet mignon, CD Projekt Red.
Now.
So another game that I'm personally crazy excited about is Horizon Forbidden West. So we've got some news on that.
Yeah, so it looks like Guerilla's been talking. So Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to 2017's Horizon Zero Dawn, won't arrive on the PlayStation 5 until 2021. Game director Mathis De Jong confirmed in a new video that offered further information on the upcoming title.
Let's check out the video to get more details on the upcoming PS5 release.
Hold on, I had to make sure Enya would stop playing.
Bring Enya back
all day.
Hi, my name is Matthijs de Jonge. I'm the game director on Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West is an open-world action RPG that takes place in the distant future. And you play as Aloy, a hunter of the Nora tribe, who is on an epic quest to solve mysteries and secrets that will change her life forever. The title Forbidden West actually refers to a mysterious new frontier that stretches from Utah in the USA all the way to the Pacific Ocean in the West.
I never thought Utah
So ever
would be
since
so
the first
exciting.
game, we really wanted to make a world that is so beautiful that you just want to be there. And with the
What's up,
additional
nobody?
power of the PlayStation 5, we can make that world even more
What's that?
detailed and more vibrant and more immersive. With the PS5's SSD, there will be virtually no loading screens. So in an open world game like Horizon Forbidden West, if you open up the map and fast travel from one end to the other, restarting from a checkpoint will be super fast. And when you boot up the game, you're right there in the action.
Wow.
As Aloy travels into the Forbidden
It's
West,
hard to process.
she discovers stunning valleys, deserts,
Easy for the
and ruined
PS5 to
cities
process.
full of iconic landmarks.
Ooh.
For the sequel, we wanted to go wider and deeper, so the map is a bit bigger, but we also wanted to let players discover what lies hidden beneath the surface of lakes and rivers.
Yeah.
The landscapes may be stunning, but danger lurks in every corner in the Forbidden West. It is home to a large variety of machines. Shell snappers that guard the shores and
So
swamps,
cool.
snapmaws that hunt the waterways, and sunwings that patrol the skies. Players will discover dozens of new machines as they explore the Forbidden West, and each of these machines has to be scanned and studied in order to fight them effectively. The Forbidden West is also home to new tribes, and some of them are peaceful and others are hostile, and one of these hostile tribes has discovered the knowledge of how to override machines and use them as beasts of war in combat. One of the bigger machines is the mammoth-like Tremor Tusk. It's loaded with weapons and heavy-plated armor, and it's already dangerous when you encounter it in the wilds, but when it's specially outfitted by the tribes, it's even more dangerous. The Forbidden West harbors an even greater challenge, that's a collapsing biosphere. A red blight infects the lands, is choking wildlife and starving animals and tribes. And the weather has spiraled out of control, generating massive supercell storms that flood canyons and fields. Aloy will have to go to great lengths in order to save this world. As the game is built and designed on mystery, we don't want to spoil all the surprises today. We have been working very hard in order to create a worthy sequel, one that will hopefully appeal to all the fans, but also newcomers to the franchise. And we're aiming to release the game next year in 2021.
I hope it's early 2021 because I really want to play this game.
Yeah. I mean, you know, could this game we know now about Spider-Man Miles Morales that it's not a new Spider-Man game, it's an expanded experience on the first one. Do you think this actually could be the first title that starts shipping consoles because people are just so hyped about getting into it?
I think so. For me, this would be a console pusher game. This is a game that I would get the console to play. I'm one of the people that are new to this franchise. I've never played any of the Horizon games, and it just looks so beautiful. It looks so cool. I'm really excited for Miles Morales, but I don't need to get my hands on a PS5 right now to play the game versus this is a game that just looks so phenomenal to me.
It really
What do you
does.
think?
I think it just has all of the ingredients for an amazing recipe of a video game experience that, as we know, you can only get this on PlayStation 5. So for many gamers out there, and there is a large portion of single player gamers, that I think this is going to do very well for Sony. And then it's just, you also know, hey, I'll get this, I'll get into it. Like you said, hopefully early 2021. And then all the other games that are expected to come out after that, you've set yourself up for more amazing games after amazing games after amazing games.
This just looks so beautiful, and I was glad to hear about the fast traveling and how if you fast travel, you don't have to spend forever to load. That's how I feel when playing Breath of the Wild. I fast travel all the time, and I'm always just kind of sitting there waiting for Link to kind of get around to his next spot. And sometimes I'm like, do I even want to fast travel? And I'm like, it would take way too long to manually go there myself. So I think that's huge, and something that I'm going to very quickly take for granted is how fast the loading times will be on next gen.
Yeah, and this is the example of what Sweeney was talking about with the next gen consoles being faster than PCs because they're specifically designed for video games,
right?
And so it allows the information to transfer faster. So I think we're gonna see a lot of these games hit the scene. I was also just kind of going in my head, we don't talk about Fallout 76 on the news channel, Maddie.
Locked away the
was
memory.
one, did you have to pay for? I'm actually, this is an honest question. Did you have to pay for
the
fast travel?
Voldemort of gaming.
Didn't you have to pay for fast travel in that game?
It costs you in-game currency to fast travel.
I had to make sure to confirm that fact.
Yeah, that is correct. I would say, what are reviews going to be like for these next gen games? You know what I mean? Because I feel like there's just going to be a standard that they always deliver on. Because you can't be like, oh, the graphics, they're just, up to no good. No, what? No, graphics look like a 10 already. So for me, I'm already thinking about like, how are these games going to be reviewed with all of these like aspects that just seem to go away, which a lot of, games get negative reviews.
That's true. That's a great point. If the graphics are great, if the sound is great, if the characters are great in every video game, then how does one stand out over the other? I feel like the graphics and environment are hopefully like in a way you're like immersed in there, so you can really focus on the story more. And if the story is bad, I feel like that'll even be more apparent, if that makes sense, because if the writing is bad in the story, I feel like it would kind of take me out of the whole experience.
That's a good point. Now we'll actually have the reviewers really kind of have to go after storytelling in these games.
I think so. At least I would.
I mean, that actually makes sense that there would become that. I mean, it delivers on all the stuff that you would expect next gen console to deliver on, just because that's how it's designed. But outside of that, its storytelling is lackluster. Because a lot of times when you pay attention to like reviews and you think of that, they don't really go too hard on a okay story if the game delivers overall. Like overall, it's a really good experience. You're like, oh, the story might be lackluster, but you're going to enjoy playing the game. I think we're going to be enjoying a lot of these games across the board as games, but now it's going to be like, now let's hone in on the storytelling and if it actually feels like it delivers.
Also for me, the motion capture and the actors and the voice actors plays a big role in how much I enjoy video games. And I remember when playing The Last of Us, which I finally finished, I was honestly most impressed with like Ellie's reactions to everything. And for some reason, I just felt that it was done so well. And I think motion capture is going to slowly come kind of into the focus as more of these games are, really relying on that.
Yeah. And I'm curious how people are going to feel about The Last of Us 2's story. So I can't wait to talk about that and kind of like see what that response is as it is. What it's tonight, right?
Tonight, I believe. A lot of people playing tomorrow. Tonight/tomorrow. Gotta check that out.
But this is definitely, somebody was asking, Kaisa, are you getting a PlayStation 5? I can't speak for you, but obviously can speak for myself. I am already ready to put down a pre-order for the PlayStation 5.
Same. I'm decided on the PlayStation 5. I was initially thinking, maybe I'll hold out, really compare the two, but I think I have seen enough, and PlayStation 5 has my money.
Yeah, I think
Take
now
it,
it's
just
like
take it,
it's
Sony.
now like, do I get the digital edition or do I get the one with the drive?
Digital.
I
I'm
don't
getting
know.
digital edition.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Are you getting digital?
I don't know.
Yeah. Are you a
Yeah.
disc drive person?
I
Blu-ray?
for me, I think it
Blu-ray
might
junkie?
just be the aspect of having it. But if it's like
Just
$100
to
price
have.
difference, I might be like, nah, I'll
That's
save the
true.
100 to grab some like peripherals that I would rather put that towards.
That's a great point. You're setting those 1,000 for a good setup. You gotta have the whole deal.
The whole kit and caboodle.
So our next piece of news is about a game that doesn't have crazy graphics, but Blizzard banned 74,000 World of Warcraft classic botters. What is this, Warzone?
Great question. Is this because
What's up, Benji?
I feel like, Benji, what's going on? 2020 is the year of cheaters. As
You're cheaters. People got nothing better to do.
we are dealing with them everywhere, and Blizzard has a real cheating problem they need to address with a lot of their games.
Yeah, Blizzard is really, really struggling with the cheating front, or at least maybe they're doing a lot on the cheating front, but players have noticed it and they're demanding action now.
Yeah, and since they have banned 74,000 World of Warcraft classic botters, they admitted they face an uphill challenge in fending off cheaters.
WoW Classic has been beset by bots for months now, with players complaining to Blizzard that they're ruining the game and its virtual economy.
Now, Blizzard has taken the unusual step of detailing its battle against WoW Classic botters with a forum post that revealed during the last month in the Americas, Oceania, and Europe regions. The company has closed or suspended over 74,000 WoW accounts that were found to be in violation of its end user license agreement.
The majority of these banned accounts were found to be using gameplay automation tools to farm resources or kill enemies much more efficiently than legitimate players can, aka they were bots.
Blizzard said this: "It is a top priority for us to identify accounts that are botting and remove them. Our team works around the clock every day of the week, and many of the suspensions and account closures over the last few months have gone out in the middle of the night or on weekends."
Blizzard continued, "Like you, we play World of Warcraft. We understand what it's like to spot a player in-game who appears to be botting. We always want to eliminate the botting player if it can be proved that they are indeed cheating, and that raises a big difficulty in addressing this issue. We have to prove to ourselves that the accused player is not a person who's actually controlling a character with their hands on a keyboard."
Logan, what's going on? You know, then
What's
this
up,
asks
Logan?
the question, so what's to be done? And Blizzard said this: "It's working on quote unquote further improvements to the game that might address cheating issues more swiftly and completely, but it stressed it faces an uphill challenge in the fight against botters, as most developers do."
Cheating and bots are such a prominent trend in 2020, especially with Blizzard. What do we think about Blizzard taking this issue head on with the extensive bans and internal investigations for WoW Classic?
I think it's the only choice they have. I was talking to one of my regular teammates on Warzone, and he works within computer programming, and he was addressing this. He used to work for Amazon, and he was saying there's only two options here, and they all require a lot of money. You either need to hire a lot of humans to study the data, to observe the videos, and to determine whether or not these people are cheating, which requires a lot of your budget in order to do so, or you need to take even more and develop an AI that can study the information as well and handle this for you. So the reason that they're saying it is an uphill battle is because the amount of money it requires, the capital that they would have to invest in solving this, is probably a lot greater than we might, be able to conceive or understand.
That's a great point. Blizzard also was talking about how a lot of these cheating companies, they just consider their bots being banned kind of a cost of doing business. And for them, their main priority is cheating, is harvesting these materials, getting all these resources. And if a bot gets banned, then whatever, they'll just make a new one, which is so infuriating for Blizzard, whose main goal, I assume, besides making money, is to also create a great game. And so they don't want to really have to deal with these bots, but they're forced to, and they must. And they were also talking about how if you report a player that you think is a bot, but then Blizzard finds out that they're not a bot and that they are a legitimate person, some players will still be mad because they're thinking, hey, I know that guy's a bot or that person's a bot. And Blizzard goes, no, we found out that they aren't. But people are still mad about it because they think that behavior still exists, which I don't blame them for if it's this apparent.
Yeah, that's
this widespread.
The tough part of this. This is where, even with a game like Valorant's still struggling to keep cheaters at bay, even though that they were like, we have this, anti-cheat software, and it's not really doing a good job. And so there's something to be said about what we're seeing right now is these security protocols and these protections that we're supposed to feel like are there are as vulnerable as our own information is when hackers come in and steal it. And I think a lot of the times there's just that reaction of, I just want to play this game and have a good time and not have to worry about stuff like this. And that's really I think the root of all of us who are like, can cheating just stop? But at the same time, it's the same feeling when you signed up for the Adobe Creative Suite, and then you learned that their system got hacked and your information got taken, and now you got to deal with it.
Awful. Right. I hope they find more of a solution. At least maybe this means more jobs will be created in anti-cheating. If anyone is interested in that, I'm sure this will be a problem that will not go away anytime soon. I think that even over the next decade, we might see even more and more cheating in games. Who knows? Yeah. So if you're interested in that, this might be the right time to look for a job in that sector.
That's a really good point. Like that does create a lot of jobs right there. Right. You're talking these billion-dollar companies that could hire people that I don't think it's very hard to determine this. Here's the data. Here's what a normal, here's top tier. Here's where this is abnormal. Here's footage. Here's all these things to follow like checklist wise. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense to me that you would just see people getting hired, at an hourly wage that fit right, and they could study this.
Right? They did say it's very labor intensive, which costs money for them, but has its ups for people, who might want to be doing that work.
We are in a time period of a lot of people not being able to work right now. So, I think this could be some way of throwing some lifelines out there to some people by taking your billions, maybe cutting some of the bonuses that your CEOs and executives get, and maybe start putting it towards those who are struggling and actually need the money to survive.
Great point, Marone. On to our next topic, the Video Game Hall of Fame's 2020 class. Bejeweled, crazy talk. That's not crazy talk. Crazy. Bejeweled, Centipede, King's Quest, and Minecraft.
I don't know how many of you, I knew I had heard about it a few years ago, but there is a real Video Game Hall of Fame in the 2020 class has been picked. So the Strong's World Video Game Hall of Fame announced that Bejeweled, Centipede, King's Quest, and Minecraft have been inducted into the prestigious Hall of Fame that recognizes the most important releases in the history of video games.
The 4 inductees span multiple decades, countries of origin, and gaming platforms, but all have significantly affected the video game industry, popular culture, and society in general.
So, these games challenge players to solve puzzles, battle giant insects, complete epic quests, and build fantastic structures. And they emerged from a field of 12 finalists that also included Frogger, GoldenEye's 007, Guitar Hero, NBA Jam, Nokia Snake, yeah, that's right, the cell phone game, Super Smash Bros, Melee, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
VentureBeat's Dean Takahashi was one of the judges who voted on the selection, and his own choices were Centipede, Guitar Hero, and Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. But he said he can't argue with these winners. Let's break down why these games are now in the Hall of Fame.
Bejeweled. I don't know about you, but I can safely admit, put in a few hundred, if not thousands of hours into Bejeweled in my lifetime. Bejeweled was initially created as a web-based Flash game in 2001.
Love Flash games.
PopCap Games is where I put in most of my hours. Bejeweled popularized the Match 3 puzzle game and became one of the most iconic mobile games in history. It inspired many other mobile games using the same mechanics, and the game developers estimated in 2013 that it had been downloaded more than 500 million times.
Players from around the world have devoted tens of billions of hours to playing Bejeweled and the games that it inspired, said Strong Museum of Play curator Shannon Simons in a statement. Now, Bejeweled and its successor puzzle games seem commonplace, a regular part of all of our lives.
And then let's talk about Centipede, another game that I think all of us might have touched at some point who have been experiencing games for most of their life. It debuted in 1981. Atari Centipede challenged players to blast an insect as it zigzagged across the screen in challenging patterns at various speeds. Ed Log led a team that included Donna Bailey, one of the only female programmers in the 1980s arcade video game industry, to develop a game that helped attract more female players. It was an immediate success and became synonymous with the golden age of the arcade, though it also found later life in releases on home consoles, portable game systems, mobile game apps, and even a board game.
Centipede appeals to a wide demographic and is often cited as a game that helped attract more women to the arcade in the early 1980s, said Jeremy Saucier, the Strong's assistant vice president for electronic games and interpretation, in a statement. It's as challenging and satisfying to play today as it was decades ago, he said. And he said that he had tons of fun playing this one in the arcades. And I didn't know that it was targeted towards bringing women to the arcade. I think that's super cool.
I didn't either, but I really hope his gamer tag is Saucy.
Saucier than you.
So another one that was inducted was King's Quest. This is another one that early on really hammered home story-driven gaming experiences. It was designed by Sierra Online co-founder Roberta Williams. King's Quests, which in 1984 introduced players to the fantastical world of Deventry. The fairy tale setting, unique visuals, and irreverent humor helped to make the game a hit on personal computers and popularized the graphic adventure genre. Sierra Online, led by Ken and Roberta Williams, produced 7 sequels, and the game influenced dozens of adventure games that followed, establishing Roberta Williams as one of the most significant game designers of the 1980s and 1990s.
Archivist Julia Novakovic said in a statement, "It's hard to overstate King's Quest's influence on adventure games, as it established or reinforced so many conventions of the genre. And I personally have never played this game, but I watched some gameplay, and I don't know why it looks so fun. Like, even though, you know, these were the graphics of their time, they still like drew me in, and it was still, you know, very like cool and comical and fantastical to see some of this gameplay."
Yeah, I remember when I first started getting into like gaming on computer, this was one people were like, you got to play this, you got to play this, you got to play this. And it was just because you hadn't really experienced what an adventure game could actually be until you play King's Quest. And as Julia Novakovic, there it is, Julia Novakovic mentioned, that it had a major influence on adventure games. That is very true.
And also the box for this game, there's a big IBM stamp on it, and on the back it's like the most boring just like block of text where it's just like, this is an IBM game, even though it's Sierra, you know, it's by Sierra Online, but they made it seem as like boring as possible on the cover, but there is quite a gem inside that disc case.
Very true. And the next game, which is one I think that doesn't surprise anyone, is Minecraft. This is one of the games that is a little more fresh in our minds, and we've talked about in length of how Minecraft is probably the most successful game of our generation.
With its endless play possibilities, Minecraft has become a global phenomenon since its introduction in 2009. Players in a worldwide online community make their own creations using sets of pixelated blocks that they mine and use to build elaborate structures. I see so many streams about mining diamonds in Minecraft. So the game offers nearly unlimited opportunities for creativity. And as of 2019, the game had sold more than 176 million copies across all platforms, with more copies sold for consoles than for personal computers.
The Strong's digital games curator, Andrew Borman, said, Minecraft's success speaks to the maturing of video games as a cultural touchstone. No longer do game creators need to obsess about having the most realistic looking graphics. Minecraft features a retro simplicity that harkens back to fondly remembered days of 8-bit computers. He said, and it's a validation of the indie gaming movement.
I think that this is a solid, you know, these are solid 4 inductees to the Gaming Hall of Fame. I'm kind of curious as to why some of them were entered into the Hall of Fame now at this specific point of time, I feel like a lot of the contenders that were the runner-ups might be in the Hall of Fame in the future. I mean, Snake is such a simple game conceptually, but I've played so much Snake in the version of Meerkat Run in Neopets, and it's a timeless game.
Yeah, I want to believe that a lot
Run,
of
I think
these games will make it into the Hall of Fame at some point. You know, like there's that aspect of this that I'm just kind of like, some of these titles, they deserve to be in it at some year or another.
Right, they do. I think some of these will be in the Hall of Fame at a later point in time.
So I would be very surprised. This easy. I don't know how many hours.
So good.
While being in class, I probably put this game on and started playing it. Oh man.
Game over. That was so quick. And Bejeweled, I believe Candy Crush came as a result of Bejeweled, right? It's kind of a Bejeweled reskin, and that's, so there was such a Candy Crush boom.
Yeah.
So many people playing that game or variants of like a Lost Frozen Adventure, which I bring up surprisingly a lot of the time on this show, and games that have come from that. And I think this is a great list. I'm surprised I haven't heard more about King's Quest today. That times when I read game reviews, they reference other games that New Game reminded them of, and even though King's Quest had such an impact on even games that are created today, it's often not referenced.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think Sea of Phoenix, I think for me, part of I'm kind of in the same boat as you as to some of these games got decided on now, but I could have seen King's Quest as like last year or before that. Like the fact that it's here now, and then some of the other games on the list that I was like, time-wise, I can't remember when the Video Game Hall of Fame started. So I'm curious how many years it's been running now. But that's something for me that I was like, maybe it's just because if we actually sit and start to think of the games that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, you're like, oh, okay. Some of these older iconic games, it's going to take a little bit for them to get in there.
Right. So what games would we nominate for the Gaming Hall of Fame? What would chat nominate for the Hall of Fame?
That's a good question.
Almighty says Flappy Bird. Remember when
Flappy Bird?
Developer removed Flappy Bird from the app store?
Yes. I'm actually curious.
Birds. I would say probably World of Warcraft, just because it's been so culturally relevant for so long.
Yeah.
By the way, I just found this is the list of the inducted games right now. So there is Halo, which was inducted in 2017. Looks like the earliest date I can find on here was 2015.
Oregon Trail's on there.
Oh, it is on there. Good. It better be on there.
I think it started in 2015. John Madden Football has got to be on there.
Okay.
Legend of Zelda. Microsoft Solitaire. Tomb Raider. Oh, World of Warcraft is on there.
Yeah.
What else? The Sims. That's amazing.
I do feel like there's a lot of years to catch up on, so maybe they should do more than 4 a year. Maybe more
because I would say one of Kirby's titles should be in there.
Great point. I was gonna say Pokemon, but they already have Pokemon Red and Green on there.
Yeah.
Evan says yes to the OG Sims.
At this point, I think we could safely throw in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yes.
Whenever, they come around, we should expect that to be on there as well.
Yeah, they have 3 on here. They have Grand Theft Auto 3, which rightfully so. That was the game changer.
Yeah. Huge. It went from a top-down to the third-person experience that it was. Oh, my God.
Inducted games.
Half-Life. Great point, Neon.
Oh, that's true.
Half-Life for sure
has done a lot for gaming.
Oh, my God. Yeah, these make sense. They've got quite a while. Wait, is it?
I would say Dota 2 at some point. Ultima Online was your first MMO.
Dota 2.
I would say Dota 2.
I would throw Fallout 3 in there.
Fallout 3? I could see Fallout 3 being on there. Skyrim for sure.
Skyrim needs to be on there.
Should be on that
Skyrim
list
better get on
at
there.
some point.
Snake first, Skyrim second.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you just said Snake, and it made me think of Metal Gear Solid. I'd probably say, I think the best Metal Gear Solid would be, for me, probably Sons of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sons of Liberty is probably like one of the all around the best ones. God of War, yeah, for sure. God of War should be on there. Yeah,
they got a lot of catch up on.
They do
They've
have a
got
lot to catch
of work
up on.
to do.
Yeah, it looks like the first year that they started was in 2015. Yeah, so this makes sense.
Recent.
Yep. So it'll be probably 10, 15 years from now where we feel like, yeah, this list is
right. We agree with this list. I think so far they're doing a great job with the titles that are on there, but they do have a lot to add.
Absolutely. They got some time.
They've got some time. Fable.
Ooh, Fable.
Big Fable fan.
TES2 Daggerfall.
God of War.
This is an old one. Nick, what's going on? And one that if you ever played, you probably would understand, but Mech Warrior?
Oh,
Mech Warrior for sure be on there.
Pretty iconic and definitely did a lot for changing kind of the way to have a perspective within games.
Mega Man, Counter-Strike. Well, we
Microsoft's
said
Flight Simulator.
Microsoft's Flight Simulator.
Easy.
What about that pinball game for like Windows XP?
Space 3D pinball. Yeah.
What is it? 3D pinball?
Space 3D pinball.
Space 3D pinball. Yes, I played so much of that because
that's so funny.
Well, I play online games and this is just on my computer. Bashing that space bar all summer long.
It makes me wonder if what they'll do is like each year they'll kind of like pick a game from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s and current. And that's the way they'll go through and they'll do it that way.
That makes sense. I feel like going off of what they've done this year.
Yeah, SimCity. Oh my God.
SimCity was
crazy.
Fast and Furious Crossroads. I mean, I know I'm calling my shot here.
Why is that not on the list?
I know I'm calling my shot. It's not out yet, but we can pretty much expect that to be on the list.
We can expect that. That's an insta buy.
Insta buy.
Going into our next segment, which is stock up or stock down. Rest of 2020. Fast and Furious Crossroads, stock up, blind buy, take my money now. $60. Why would I buy another $60 game when I could buy Fast and Furious?
I want to be able to continue this joke with you, but there's this thing stopping the words from coming out of the back of my throat. It's just a kid. I was trying to say stock. I can't. I just have like this thing.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
stock
I see.
down. Nope, I couldn't do it. See, hold on. Fast and the Furious.
Right, try one more time.
Stock down. Nope.
Oh, you're so
close. Still coming out.
You're so close.
You can stop it.
With the Cyberpunk 2077 being delayed to November. Adding to the packed list of holiday releases, we thought it would be perfect time to bring back our segment called Stock Up or Stock Down.
For this edition, we'll be going down the list of releases for the rest of 2020 and making the call if the stock is rising for the game, making it a hot commodity or an instant pre-order, or if the game's stock is on the downslope, maybe leading you to sell altogether, waiting for a summer Steam sale price in a few years.
So let's start with a game that's not in the holiday slate because this one comes out next month. Stock up or stock down, Ghost of Tsushima.
Stock up.
Way up. It's up there.
I've already pre-ordered this.
Way up there.
Yeah. I pre-ordered this game. I'm waiting for it to release and ship. Yeah. And I went as far as to get the special edition version of this game with like the mask and everything. I was like, I got to get this game. I have to own it.
I anticipate this game is going to be my new favorite game of 2020.
Yeah. I was thinking about that too. I was like, cool. You know what? Cyberpunk's delayed. More hours into Ghost of Tsushima. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean?
I'm
like
okay
that's
kind
of what was going on in my mind when this announcement hit today.
It just looks so good. There's nothing bad about it.
Yeah.
Not that I can tell at least.
Know much about this game. Ghost of Tsushima is basically an open world samurai experience. It allows you to also play as the Ghost, which is more of a stealth kind of Ninja Gaiden type feel. The sword fighting is extremely dangerous. It's a 2 or 3 swipes of the sword and either you're dead or they're dead. And it has even a black and white mode, so you can play it and it gives you that old black and white cinema feel from, like the Kurosawa days.
The game is super cool, and all of the environment you can see in the distance, those are all places that you can actually travel to, and the winds kind of guide you along. There are also shrines there in the game, and it takes place in like old feudal Japan, and I think they've done an incredible job with how the game looks. The only criticism I've seen is that his cape looks like a Superman cape, but I think it looks really cool. I am all about it. And this game is definitely an insta-buy for me.
Yeah, I would for sure say, if you're like, I need just a game to escape into, a single player game, just have an amazing time and be blown away by it, this looks to be that game. If you loved The Witcher, I would say it would be safe to feel you would love this game. Same goes for if you loved Red Dead Redemption 2. This would be another one of those that I think is going to very much fulfill all your needs for a video game.
So the next game on the list is Marvel's Avengers. Stock up or stock down?
The more I hear about this game, the more I got to say stock up. I am getting very excited about this title because they are releasing more information as to how the gameplay works. They're releasing more information to how the online works. And I feel like what we're going to have here is a game that, very much like GTA, where you're going to have the single player experience and the online experience, which is going to be separate. So you'll go into Marvel's Avengers Online to play your online character, and then you'll go into your normal Marvel's Avengers for the story.
I think this game looks really good, but I'm more excited for Iron Man VR than Marvel's Avengers itself. I think I would, it's going to sound super petty, but I'd play this game if someone bought it for me. I think this would be a nice gift that I would enjoy, but I don't know if I would pay for this game. Even though it looks phenomenal, I think I'm also just not a big Marvel person. I'm more of DC.
Okay.
And it looks fun, and I've heard great things about this game, but I'm not like gunning for this.
I think the thing that's attracting me the most is the online aspect of this game, because DC Universe Online for me was so much fun to create my own character and give them the different abilities. But now I get to do it in a Marvel universe, and they've addressed that the characters that you will get to create, you can create your own versions of most of the Marvel superhero characters that you've seen. So for me, this is where I'm like, wait, if you're saying I'm getting an MCU online, yeah, I am there. I am ready. I cannot wait to join up with me and my friends and just be playing around as our own created superheroes. Like, that is, the child Chris in me is like super excited for that experience. Yeah.
Our next game is Cyberpunk 2077. Stock up or stock down?
For me, this is a hold. I wouldn't go stock down. That's a good way
to put it.
I don't know if I would say stock up, because I think we could expect to see another delay.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were another delay. I wouldn't sell. I don't think this is stock down. I'm just kind of fatigued at this point of like being excited for so long about Cyberpunk 2077 for years on end. When will it end? When can I let go of holding on to this hype? What's up, Maddie?
I think this game froze the stock market. I don't know if you guys remember when Elon Musk tweets, sometimes he freezes Tesla stock. Right. The delay froze Cyberpunk stock. No one trade any commodities for Cyberpunk. Let's just take the time. We're all a little emotional right now. Put the phone down. No one's gonna blame you if you just hold, like Marone said, on Cyberpunk stuff.
Yeah, I think we're no, you're breathtaking, Neon Punk.
No, you're breathtaking.
I think this is one of those games that's safe to say what we're seeing here is what we're gonna get, and it's gonna be awesome. But the time that it'll take before we get to experience it, it might not be as awesome.
I agree. Dr. Gonzo says, I wonder if it will be a duo release, current gen, next gen. That's what we are expecting, that they're making a version of this game for next gen, so you will be able to play it on both.
Yeah. The next game on the list, Halo Infinite.
Stock down. Is that bad?
Nope.
I would say
I'm stock down on this as well.
Because when I first started playing Doom, I was like, oh, it's this. He like looks the same as Master Chief. It's like a big armored suit that's both green. Like, this is like the same thing. But then I was playing Doom, and then I was like, this game is crazy, and I would want that level of hype and fun in the current Halo games. And I think the Halo games right now, I've heard they're pretty good, but they're not phenomenal.
Yeah,
so I'd rather just play more Doom Eternal.
Yeah, I'm the same with Supple there. I think after Halo 3, I was bummed. The departure of Bungie. Yeah, I nope, I haven't been able to be excited about a Halo game in a long time.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what the reviews say, but I don't anticipate they will be particularly phenomenal. There have also been some Halo tournaments that have been sponsored or coming into play, but they're not big tournaments, at least relatively speaking. And if they're trying to bring back the Halo Pro scene with this game, I don't know how much it's actually going to move the needle.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty hard to I think bring back Halo to what it was prior to its kind of dissolve from the gaming industry. So yeah,
so sad.
It is.
Our next game is Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga.
I'm still in a I don't know how to feel about this game from the first one, because I think the first one was a great narrative, but as a game, it was lackluster. You know what I mean?
Agree. I absolutely agree.
What are they going to do with this that makes it not feel lackluster? Or are they possibly going to be able to say, well, now we can actually make it more of like an Assassin's Creed type experience while doing all of this?
I thought the environment was cool. I thought the game moved pretty slowly. I was really looking forward to the boss battles, and then the bosses were super easy to defeat and incredibly predictable. And after I defeated them, I was like, oh, that's it, I guess. So I really like Hellblade, but I wish there was more fighting or more actual gameplay versus just, wandering around.
Yeah. So that's where I'm kind of like, I'm going with stock down. I'm hopeful for a stock up. I'd love to see some gameplay. Can't wait to see the gameplay actually be released for this. So, yeah, for me, I'm in the stock down.
I would buy this game, but I don't have crazy high hopes. But Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Stock up.
Stock up for me too. Even though some people said the gameplay didn't look crazy exciting, I thought Assassin's Creed Odyssey was amazing, and I have nothing but high hopes for this game.
Yeah. I don't know. For the gameplay, they didn't really actually show real gameplay. They showed cinematic gameplay, but not actual, gameplay that you would see when looking at the HUD and the way that the game moves around. Everything that they've said about this, what they've talked about, the villages, the growing your own land, doing all that, and that your decisions will affect the type of people that you can recruit and have influence with, like all of that stuff that they've done. And they said that they've scaled down the size, but it's still full of life and experiences. I'm just kind of like, after the last Assassin's Creed title we've talked about a bunch, I think this is going to just be like using that same foundation that they did with Odyssey to what they're about to do with Valhalla.
This one's an insta buy for me. Neon says stock down. Talk about fatigue. What? I feel the opposite. I'm just like, give me more Assassin's Creed. I'll take it.
I think there was a point when Assassin's Creed was dying off, and it was just not doing well, and it needed to like reinvent
off the track. It did.
Origins was able to do that for them because a lot of people were like, this is like an action RPG. Like they did something with Assassin's Creed I didn't know that they could possibly do. And then they did Odyssey and everybody was like, oh, wow.
This is Assassin's Creed, baby.
Yeah. The next game on the list is one, I'm curious to see what they do differently. It's Call of Duty Black Ops 2020.
I have never played Black Ops.
It's a favorite.
What do you think?
It's a favorite title amongst a lot of the Call of Duties. I think Treyarch does things a little bit differently that is more in line with what the actual community wants. I am excited for this. I would like to see what they do better for their game with what I believe, and a lot of us believe, that Infinity Ward has kind of failed on with Modern Warfare and Warzone.
Right. I know. I think my first impression of this is coming from like a not Call of Duty player, but like I load up Modern Warfare 2 and it was super glitchy and laggy and slow. And I was asking the chat, like, oh, are my settings wrong? And they're like, no, that's just how it is. It's just always glitchy and slow. And I'm like, why does everyone play this? So I hope they at least iron out those details, because to me, that's kind of just like a must have to, have your interface working great. It was just a mild point of confusion for me, really.
Yeah. And I'm curious what they do with the next installment of Zombies, because they've always done the Zombies mode.
People have been asking for
attracts
Zombies.
A lot of people. CK Guardian, Supple mentioning it as well too. Like, it is definitely one of those modes that people like. You can just get with a bunch of your friends and just PvE for the next 2 hours to see how far you all can survive.
So, final answer: stock up or stock down?
Stock up for me. It's not a huge stock up, but I'm very interested to see what they do with this next game.
I would say stock up for me too. Swimming. I would say stock up because of the swimming. Stock up because I think a lot of good work was done with the last Call of Duty installation.
Yeah.
This looks good. This looks like a good game. The next one is Doom Eternal on Switch, which I would say stock down because I already have it on PC and the graphics are so cool on PC. Why would I want it on my Switch?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to have the same kind of like experience that the Outer Wilds just had.
Mm-hmm.
So the Outer World, just had. So I'm curious to see how this performs on a Switch.
It's an incredible game, but I don't know why
I think
on a Switch. Unless you don't have a PC, then sure.
Yeah, and having Doom on the go might be
Doom on the go, you know me.
Yeah. So no, I'm gonna say stock down. Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna live up to it. I don't know if it's gonna do that well.
I can already see myself like totally breaking all my joysticks trying to move around in this game.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I'd prefer just to have it on PC.
What's up, Forwards?
Nice, K Guardian. Officially Last of Us 2 owner.
This is a title I'm looking forward to. This is Spelunky 2. I would say stock up on this.
I know you're a big fan of the OG Spelunky.
Yeah. This Mossmouth has come out, the developer. It's a one-person developer. I think he's now working with a couple more people. The original game was made by one person, but the David, I can't remember his name, Derek Young, maybe. Mossmouth is the developer, and he was like saying recently it's supposed to come out fall of this year, and they've added a lot of different things. Like some of your characters now have like special abilities, which is really cool. There's new crazy types of guns and mounts, and just the puzzles to solve, and then just some of the normal what you know and love out of Spelunky is there. I'm really excited about this.
I would say this is a game that I would recommend to other people, but I don't like these kinds of platformers, so it's a stock down for me, but I don't want to spread any ill will about this game because I've heard nothing but great things.
Yeah, we did play this. Supple, Zand and I were playing this when we were back at the studio doing our competition of how far we could get in Spelunky.
And our final game on our list is Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about being able to play as every character in this game.
I think
just
that's
to
a sick
see that
feature.
in action. But other than that, I'm stocked down.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a really big pro, but then the rest of the stock down is just kind of everything that's happened with Watch Dogs.
That's true. I feel like with everything in the past that's happened, a lot of gamers are hesitant to buy this game. I also think the idea of being able to play as every NPC is just wild. And the graphics look really good. The game looks really good. But if the rest of the elements of a game aren't there, then I don't think I would buy it. Stock down.
I think the Watch Dogs name has always left that experience of, here, look at this amazing gameplay footage. And then when the game came out, everybody was like, wait, this isn't the same game. Wow,
that's so terrible. What a debate. Not here for the debates.
Not here for that.
No.
And on that note, that brings us to the end of the Caffeine Channel News Hour. Thank you all so very much for being here, being a part of this hour and chatting with us. But don't forget, if you're there at home and want to join in on the chat, it's really easy to do, to sign up and comment with everyone else.
But don't go anywhere because Zand is bringing you a quick quarantine workout with Mike, second Mike of the day. So make sure to stick around with Zand, and then he'll be playing some Star Citizen. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Kaisa.
I am Marrone. We will see you tomorrow, but you all stay and have a good time with Zand. Bye, everybody.